Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Inain's Forensic Classroom. So as you know, our crime scene investigation series has officially come to an end. And if you have watched my complete crime scene investigation playlist, you have already covered all the important concepts. But now comes the real question. How much do you actually remember? Because let's be honest, understanding a topic is one thing, but answering questions under exam pressure is a completely different challenge. So in this today's video, we are going to solve 10 important MCQs which are based on crime scene investigation. Now these questions are useful for UGC NET, it is useful for FAT, FSL recruitments and other forensic competitive examinations. But here's one rule. Do not look at the answers immediately. Whenever I display a question, pause the video for a few seconds, think carefully and then choose your answers. Once you have answered, we'll not discuss only the correct option, but also the reasoning behind it. Also, don't just memorize the answer, try to understand why that option is correct, because that's exactly what competitive exams test. So let's start with the first question, which is which principle states that every contact leaves a trace, and the options are on your screen. So the correct option is Locard's exchange principle. Now, this is probably one of the most important principles in forensic science. Dr. Edmund Locard proposed that whenever two objects come into contact, there's always an exchange of material. That transfer could be something obvious like blood or hair, or something microscopic like fibers, glass fragments, or even DNA. So remember this simple sentence: every contact leaves a trace. If you understand this principle, you have understood the very foundation of forensic investigation. Then moving on to question number 2. What should be the first priority of the first responder at a crime scene? So the correct option is option C, which is save life and provide medical assistance. Now, many students immediately think about protecting the evidence. And yes, evidence is extremely important, but there's something even more important, which is the human life. If there's any possibility that a victim is still alive, providing the medical assistance is always the first priority. Evidence can often be preserved later, but a lost life cannot be brought back. Then question number 3 is the main purpose of establishing a cordon around a crime scene is to. The correct answer is option B, which is to prevent contamination of evidence. Now, a crime scene is extremely fragile. Every unnecessary person who's entering the crime scene increases the chance of contaminating or destroying the valuable evidence. And that's exactly why investigators establish the inner and outer cordon to protect the integrity of the crime scene. The next question is, which search pattern is most suitable for a large open outdoor area? The correct option is option B, the strip or line search. Now think about a large field. The easiest and most systematic way to search it is by dividing it into parallel strips and moving line by line. Now, if investigators need even greater accuracy, they often perform the grid search, which basically is two strip searches which are conducted at right angles. Now, moving on to the next question. The chain of custody refers to. The correct option is option B. Now, chain of custody is simply the complete documented history of an item of evidence. It tells us who collected it, when it was collected, where it was stored, who handled it, and when it was presented before the court. Now, why is this important? Because if the chain of custody is broken, the defense may argue that the evidence was tampered with. Now, moving on to the next question. Which of the following is considered as transient evidence? The correct answer is option C, which is odor. Now, transient evidences are temporary in nature, which examples include smoke, odors, temperature, and footprints in snow before they melt. So since this type of evidence disappears quickly, investigators must observe and document it as early as possible. So the next question is, which document provides a rough drawing showing the position of evidence at a crime scene? The correct answer is option B, which is crime scene search. Now, many students ask, if we already have photographs, why do we even need a sketch? Because the sketch can clearly show you the measurements, it can show you the distances, it can tell about the orientation and the exact location of the evidence, details that, photographs alone may not convey. That's why both photographs and sketches are essential parts of crime scene documentation. Moving on to the next question, primary crime scene refers to? The correct answer is option B. The primary crime scene is a location where the criminal act has actually occurred. Any additional location which is connected with the offense, for example, where the body or the weapon is later found, is considered as the secondary crime scene. Then moving on to the next question, which of the following is not a recognized method of documenting a crime scene? The correct option is obviously option D, which is guesswork. Now, forensic science is based on facts, it's based on observations and evidence, and not on assumptions. Investigators document what they observe, not what they think might have happened. Now, moving on to the last question, why is a common approach path established at a crime scene? The correct answer is option B. A common approach path ensures that everyone who is entering or leaving the scene follow the same designated route. This helps us to minimize unnecessary disturbance and protect the evidence that may be present in other parts of the scene. So how many questions did you answer correctly? Was it 10 out of 10, 8 out of 10, or do you need a little more revision? Let me know your scores in the comments. I would genuinely love to know how everyone performed. And if you got a few answers wrong, don't be discouraged. Every incorrect answer is simply an opportunity to strengthen your concepts. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Inain's Forensic Classroom. In the next video, we will solve 10 more challenging crime scene investigation MCQs in the style of UGC NET and other competitive examinations. Until then, take care of yourself and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.